bent down and kissed it softly, then let it go. Anne blushed, feeling something she had never felt before go off inside her. "My name is Anne," she replied quietly. "I'm sorry for what just happened," Goku told her, "but I was caught up in the time portal and deposited here. My power cells will be charged soon, but until then, I'm stuck here. You can take it from here."
Okay, I'm stuck here. Okay. Anne had no idea what the handsome visitor, but she played along. "Well, sir," she said, "you may stay in my room as long as you like." Anne blushed again as she said this, and giggled slightly. Goku looked around and then sat on the bed. "Thank you for the invitation. I'll be sure to repay you for it soon." Anne did not understand what he meant by that. However, when he spoke, she felt a warmth deep inside her. She sat by him on the bed, staring. Sorry, it cut me off there. Staring at the man's beautiful eyes. Finally, she could stand it no longer. Anne leaned over and kissed the stranger on the cheek, then pulled back quickly, not sure of what she had done. "I'm sorry," she said as she stumbled to find the right words. The visitor smirked. "No, that's quite all right," he replied with a smile, putting one arm around her. "You know you're a very beautiful girl, but well," Anne looked at him, troubled. "What's the matter?" she said, with a sweet smile. Goku looked nervous. "I'm already married," he finally managed to choke out. Anne pulled away from him abruptly. "No," she said loudly, almost in tears. "I'm sorry," he replied. Anne was furious. Nothing ever goes right," she cried out. "I have to go now. My power cells have recharged," said Goku, and Anne was in tears by now, staring at the wall so she wouldn't see Goku's face. He smiled a sad smile and disappeared in another flash out of Anne's life forever. Anne never forgot him, though, not until the end of time. How did everyone like it? Anime smiley face. As it's my first story.
Oh, lovely.
I fucking break every time I'm seeing like these Anne fucking Frank pictures in the chat.
Do we need any background music?
Is there another chapter?
Yep. I can link it.
Please do. I guess I'll...
It's a little longer.
6.4. God fucking damn. Well, I can see how I'm finally starting to notice the caliber of memery that goes on here.
Yep.
A full frontal force of shit.
It's just how we like.
Alrighty. Who wants to start this? You want me to start this time and then go to you?
Sure.
Alrighty. Let's see how long this thing is so I know when to stop. Oh, fuck, you're right. This is longer. Alright, well, fuck it. Until the End of Time, Part 2. A Saiyan's Love. 1 month. Well, it didn't feel like a month to Anne Frank, a Jew hiding from the Nazis. It seemed like a year. 1 month since the fateful encounter with the mysterious man from another world, who only she knew as Goku. The handsome stranger had stepped through time and into her life, then disappeared without a trace. Anne was almost sure that they'd never meet again, even though not one day passed without her dreaming of him. Little did she know, however, that their lives were tied by the unbreakable red string of fate.
It was another boring day in the secret annex. Anne sat on the bed of her room, writing in her diary. It never occurred to her, however, that this entry would be her last. As she wrote in the quiet attic, there was a loud noise from downstairs. Her heart jumped with both fear and excitement. Was it them? The Nazi? Or could it be him? She had no idea whether to run downstairs or to hide. The decision, however, was made for her. Her door flew open, and a tall soldier was visible in the doorway, glaring at her. The cries of her family members and friends were tuned out as Anne only thought of one thing. She stood up and followed the soldier out of her room, down the stairs, and into the back of the tree. "So this is it," she said quietly to herself. "I'll never see him, my one true love, ever again. And all those years of hiding, they were for naught." Then, Anne realized that she left her precious diary up in her room. She broke loose from the officer and made a dash back into the shop when he removed a gun from his holster and fired a shot in her direction. Anne fell to the floor.
Anne lay on the floor, feeling searing pain run through her leg, where the bullet had met its mark. The Gestapo officer menacingly moved towards her, grinning, when all of a sudden there was a blinding flash of light, causing the officer to shield his eyes. A huge cloud of smoke appeared next to Anne, blocking her from his vision. When the smoke cleared, he was in for quite a surprise. There was Goku, holding Anne in his arms, standing next to a huge metal capsule. "Goku!" cried Anne. "You came back for me!" Goku smiled. "Anything for you, my dear," he said. "Our love will never be lost, not until the end of time." The Gestapo officer turned tail and ran, but Goku was too quick for him. After laying Anne on the concrete, he dashed towards the Nazi and knocked him to the ground, unconscious, with only one blow. "Nazi scum!" murdered Goku as he spit on his enemy's limp body, then returned to Anne. "Here, I have something for you," Goku said, as he removed a small bean from his pocket. "What on earth is this?" asked Anne. Goku smiled. Remember how ignorant she was that... What the fuck is this bullshit sentence? Hold on.
I like how he loves Anne Frank, but he forgot that if she moved at all, that officer would have killed her instantly.
Okay, sorry about that. Goku smiled. Remember how ignorant she was to what was everyday life to him. "A senzu bean," he said. "Just eat it and it will cure your leg." Anne followed his instructions and popped the bean into her mouth, as the wound on her calf magically healed. "Now come on," commanded Goku. "We've got some Nazi ass to kick." Anne jumped on the mysterious Saiyan's back as he launched off into the sky.
That sounds like something, what's his name would say? Nukem would say. "We've got some Nazi ass to kick."
Fuck, that sentence that I messed up has no punctuation.
Hey, Caswell.
What's going on in here?
Like,
Oh god, that's loud for me.
I take it your call out post worked.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Have fun.
God, now we have some audience.
There's a DeviantArt picture for this.
I am looking at it right now.
I'm in love.
Something.
After only a few moments.
And it's just adding everyone. It's great.
It's beautiful.
True love.
After only a few moments, the two of them arrived in Berlin. Tanks were parading down the street as Adolf Hitler himself stood on a platform overlooking it all. "Stay here," Goku said, dropping Anne in a shaded area under a tree. He then flew straight towards the parade of tanks, fists outstretched, screaming as loud as he could. The soldiers below scattered in terror while the tanks tried to aim their cannons at him. He was too quick and nimble for them, however, and opened the hatch of a nearby Panzer, then headed inside. After dispatching of the soldiers in control of the war machine, he took the wheel. He fired round after round at the crowd of Nazi soldiers, occasionally firing at the other tanks. After only minutes, there was nothing but a cloud of dust and corpses. Goku emerged from the tank's hatch, smiling now that he had done his duty. When all of the dust cleared, there were only two people remaining on the parade ground. Goku, the Saiyan hero, and Adolf Hitler, the most evil man to ever walk the earth.
Implying that the mentally retarded man known as Goku knows how to pilot a Panzer Shrek tank. Alrighty. Anne watched from nearby fearfully as she saw the two men stare at each other for what seemed like hours. Her one true love and her ultimate oppressor. It had come down to this. "So," Hitler said jovially, "you took out all of the men." Fucking jovially.
I love how he framed it like it's a love triangle between Hitler and Frank and Goku.
He seems overly happy that all of his men are dead.
My god.
Okay, "You took out all of my men. However, you aren't going to defeat me." Hitler then jumped down from his platform and down onto the street in front of Goku, pulling a chain gun from the ground nearby. Goku quickly jumped behind a ruined tank as Adolf opened fire. The tank made decent cover, but it wasn't long until it would be torn apart by the hail of bullets. Goku had to act. He dashed out from the side of the tank and flew as fast as he could toward Hitler, who had no time to react. He grabbed the chain gun out of his enemy's hands and snapped it over his knee with ease. Hitler stumbled backwards, shocked at the turn of events. Goku smirked, then said, "It's come down to this, you and me, fighting like men. If you admit defeat now, I'll kill you rather painlessly." Whew, it's getting spicy. Goku had the definitive advantage, or so it seemed. Hitler burst into a laugh, and as Goku looked on quizzically, the mustachioed man slowly rose into the air as his brown hair and pencil mustache turned a blonde color, and his brown eyes turned blue. Goku reeled in horror. Hitler continued laughing, then finally said, "Goku, you came here expecting to find a madman, but instead you found a god." Hitler had become Super Saiyan. What?
Anne looked on in awe, not sure what was going on. At first, it seemed like her lover would win the battle, but now she was not so sure. Goku now seemed scared of his opponent. It was time for a good reason. Hitler continued to speak.
Goku, can't you see? I've reached a power level 10 times anything you've ever achieved. Your fate is sealed, weakling.
Even though the battle seemed unwinnable, Goku charged it, screaming at the top of his lungs. Every every blow he struck was deflected off Hitler's rock-hard body. Hitler waited for Goku to tire himself out, then raised his fist and punched Goku. And one punch was enough. Goku was knocked across the street into a large propaganda poster of Hitler, thudding to the cold, hard ground. Hitler laughed, thinking that victory was in his hands at last. Goku, however, was not ready to give up. Bruised and battered, he rose from the ground, limping in Hitler's direction. The Nazi leader laughed.
You still want to fight? Don't you even know when to give up, boy? You can hardly walk. And you expect to beat me, conqueror of Europe?
Goku ignored Adolf's taunts as he continued to stumble his way forward. Finally, the two arch rivals were standing face to face. Goku stared Hitler into the eye, then screamed, "This is for love!" and flew up into the sky, his hair turning blonde, his eyes blue, and an aura of power radiating from Hitler. Hitler looked on in horror at Goku. He had made the ultimate achievement. He had become a super ultra power Saiyan. Goku made a cup shape with his hands, aiming at Hitler, as he belted out the words, "Kamehameha!" as a beam of pure energy shot at his enemy, disintegrating the Nazi leader's body. Goku then collapsed to the ground in a heap, exhausted from the fight. 2 years later, Anne and Goku had officially reached their date of their wedding. After the battle, Anne and Frank destroyed the time machine and took a boat to Australia. They changed their names and lived new lives, ready to start over. The two young people looked into each other's eyes as they kissed,
Laura's looking on Fiverr for a voice
pronounced them man and wife.
star.
Finally, it seemed, Anne was at peace, and they would always be together until the end of time.
Can I just say, two of my favorite parts. This romance has more build-up than Samus and Ridley. And also, I'm pretty sure that guy was sexually attracted to Hitler where he's like, Hitler's rock-hard body.
Yeah, and to me, the part that was extremely expected was that he went Super Saiyan, so he became the true Aryan.
Honestly, it didn't occur to me until I was noticing taking.
Like,
Hello, everybody. Adolf Hitler here to start the mass Nazi genocide.
gosh.
Kill all of the Uders.
Man, now the only thing I can remember is that there was a because one of the things I've been doing, right, having just run the background while I've either been doing like classwork or other such things, I've just been having Funhouse demo discs run the background. Yeah, Funhouse, and there was a part in the demo disc where they talked about the reason why Hitler wanted to kill the Jews was to power his super ultra death machine, which was a giant zeppelin, and it could only be charged off of the charred corpses of Jews.
Okay.
So please point out, He had become a super ultra power Saiyan.
Yeah.
I would also, just the prospect of this existing is amazing to me. You want to fuck with history so badly that you would write Anne Frank just like a tragedy in history
Live so
that has been documented, and then fuck with that.
Do you guys remember the Kickstarter, The Diary of Anne Frankenstein?
familiar,
So
yeah.
it was a,
Yeah, I've
basically
heard
the
of it.
Kickstarter was Anne Frank is a zombie and she's getting revenge for her family and friends being killed.
So she goes on a mass German genocide.
Basically, it didn't make it. It didn't make it. If you can't tell.
Thank God.
So basically, she became B.J. Blazkowicz, but
She became Hitler. She became the German Hitler.
well, also I'm gonna throw that quote.
Hitler
I'm
just
gonna throw that one quote in there.
No, Slip. I mean, the Hitler. If Hitler was going after Germans,
Yeah.
Okay, my apologies. My mistake. It didn't occur to me that German Hitler meant Hitler towards Germans, not Hitler of Germans.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Very common mistake. My apologies. I'll kill myself later.
I know you will.
I'll be right back. I want to use the bathroom.
Probably for the best. I'm gonna do it too, because I'm gonna fucking die if I try to read this next one.
Okay.